What we got is a CD 2250 24-foot Stratos with a nice cabin on it. Used mostly for fishing with me, but it's also set up for cruising if you want to. We've got spare seats that go in the stern. Works real well. We're set up and we're capable of finding things with our GPS. We've got a couple depth sounders on there. Got our radios. Electronically, we're set up on this thing that we can figure out how far we need to go and how many miles per gallon we're going to get and what a distance is going to be, so we don't run out of fuel, depending on what mode we're in. We've got controls up here for the rear end of the boat, because we've got trim control back there. We can go up or down and balance things out, and that works real well when you're getting some heavyweight people in there. I've only spent a couple nights up in the bow of this thing. We're usually staying in a cabin or something while we're moored, but that works real well. It's comfortable after a day's fishing to have a place to come to just crawl in and fall asleep. That's pretty well set up. We slept 2 in here. You could sleep 3 as long as you're good buddies. Got a porta potty in it, which we don't use. It's usually a 5-gallon bucket. We've got a stereo, can listen to music if we want. Of course, got all the lights are working good in here. We've got inside light in here. I know you've probably seen that we've got a sink and a stove. You can make a pot of coffee in the morning if you need to. But that's pretty much the cabin. Got an escape hatch if you need up above there. That's kind of nice to have that open when you're running sometimes when it's hot outside and get some wind blowing through. Don't use these too often. Usually we get into fish and we pull these off, and once you're in them you don't need to run that hardware. But we've used them until we get into fish, and they work real well. You know, we're more mooching off this boat. That's what I've used it for. But you know, they're there. There's a spare up there, and they're pretty nice little units. Got the boards. These are little custom-made boards with a little towel thing on there. Come up and down, so you're not cutting the bait on the side of your boat. Got the built-in pole holders, plus there's a ton of pole holders on this boat for here and here if you're not using that on either side. It's all set up. Got the rocket launchers. Spot here, spot there for your needle nose pliers and your knife spots. Same thing on the other side. More pole holders in the back. Yeah. And these two guys, once you get out your 30 miles, your 20 miles, your 10 miles, and you're into the fish, this baby, you just start it up. Well, the key's off, but you start it up. And it's got a TR1 auto troll on it, which is set up with your auto troll. You just program the auto troll, and it goes by your compass. When you set it, it'll stay on that compass course. So you can go whatever way you want. Faster, slower, left, right, faster, slower, left, right. And that's the way it works. And then when you're done, off. And it lifts right up, and you're done, if that's what you want to do. And that thing just sips gas. The little guy does. This thing, it roars. When it starts up, it lets people know. Pretty good cruising about 30 knots, around 8 gallons an hour. And if you're if you got it set right, you have your trim tabs down and the motor tilted up a little bit and keep the stern of the boat out of the water a little bit, you might get a little bit better. It'll do 45 knots with 4 guys in it. So that's pretty darn good, but you're not getting very good mileage if you're going that fast with that thing, because it really, really rocks. Yeah. We got the boom here for crabbing, which when you're crabbing, of course, you're going to be out like yay. You're going to be pulling your pots, and you pull your pot up, wrap around, turn your pot in, get your crabs out, let them back out, and when you're done, you're done. But this is just plugs right in, works real good. Alright. We got the way that looks. The trim tabs. The easy loader. Dual axle. It's got a washdown system on it for the brakes, which works pretty good. The rollers are all good shape. The boat hasn't been, since I've had it, hasn't been in and out of the water that many times. Like, I haven't used it for 4 years, so. In rough water, this boat really cuts the waves. It's got that heavy bow. That heavy bow just plows right through. No, there's really no pounding to it. It does a good job. Those are removable, and they get attached with a bungee cord at the bottom, and it can be used as a cruiser instead of a fishing boat. Yeah, it's pretty handy, which when we go out fishing like pirates, what we usually do is put a cooler right here. Just stick a cooler right there, so that if someone wants to ride back there, but a lot of guys, most of the guys, will just you grab the cushion and just sit here. We have that many people. These are in the way if you're fishing.
Excellent. This boat is in a great shape, and it's gonna be a lot of adventure for the person who will have the advantage of becoming the new owner of this boat.
Oh, they're going to love it. Yeah,